Hello everyone, how are you again? In this video we're gonna talk about two subjects, the conditional format and the validation rules. The first of all, what's the conditional format? We talk about the condition and we said we should using the if statement when we have a condition. Like for example, if the grade less than 50, just type fail. If it is a grade equal 50 or greater than 50, type pass, for example. But what if I need to change the format if there is something happen? If the grade is less than 50, I want the grade will be in the background of the grades or of the cell in the red color, for example. So here we're using the format and we have a condition, right? So you should using the conditional format. From where? Just go to the home in the home tab and you can see here conditional formatting. Now for example here, I want to implement the conditional format when the grade less than 50. Just select here conditional format and you can see highlight cell rules. We have greater than and we have less than, between, equal and so on. So here I want less than. So click on it and then you can see here just type 50, that means less than. You can see here less than. Less than what? Less than 50. Here I want to change the color. If it is less than 50, I want to make it, for example, red, like this. Or for example, I want to change the color to the yellow, for example. Or you can create custom format as you want, and so on. For example, like this and OK. Now you can see will be in the red value. Now if I have not a number, I have a text. For example, I want the pass in the blue value, for blue color, for example. Just the pass, those students have a pass result. Just select again and go to the conditional format and highlight, but now not greater than or less than, because we have a text. So just text that contain, and that contain what? For example, pass, and the color what should be, for example, green, like this and OK. Now you can see the pass will be green. You can imagine you have 1000 of student or 100 of student. You can see just select, and from conditional format you can change the background color or the format according to the condition. This everything about conditional format. Also you have, for example, like this. I want to go to the conditional format and for example data bar. You can add a data bar like this here. You can see just like a bar here, 30 like this, 90 is a full bar and so on. Here 49, that means almost half, like this. Also you can add another thing, for example the color, scales of color or icon, for example this icon, and you can see here 30 is down and 90 is up and so on, because this fail, this down. You can working with the conditional format from here. Now what's the validation rule? Validation rule is also a very important. Validation rule, that mean, for example here, the name of the student and the grade. I want to delete everything here. Now, the name of the student, I want just the name. The user should, I enforce user who's using the Excel here. I want to enforce him or enforce them to add a specific type of text. I mean here, or a specific type of value. I mean here, for example, I want just to add a text, not a number, right? Student name, I cannot add, for example, 6. This is not right. Also, for example, I cannot add just A, because there is no user or there is no name consist from just one character. So at least, for example, 3 characters to the, for example, 10. Just the name. So I want to enforce the user here to insert just a name and consist from 3 characters to the 10 character, for example. Just select the cell and go to the data and data validation, and you can see here data validation. Click on it. Here just you have setting, the first one setting, and you have input message and error message. So the first thing we have input or setting. Now here you can see validation criteria allow for all or any data or any value. Now here I want just the text, so just text length, and you can see here between, or you can changing, but now between, the minimum may be between 3 and 10. Now I enforce user just to add a value or a number or a text consist from 3 character to the 10 character. Here also I can add input message. For example, I want to inform user, I want just to, you should just use type here the text, and the text should be from 3 to the 10 character. So here for example I will add warning consists from 3 to 10 for example. And here we have error alert. If the user make a mistake, if the user write for example number or write a text greater than 10 character or less than 3 character, I want to add like an error alert to also inform the user they have error. So you can change the icon from here if you want, and here I can say or whatever, and then okay. Now you can see just when the user just select here, you can see the warning. You should add just text consists from 3 to 10. So now I add comma 3 between 3 to 10, just 5. So right? So I can do that. But now for example if I write AB, you can see you make a mistake because this error. Cancel. For example if I add a number, I cannot do that. If I want to add text greater than 10, also I cannot do that. So just the text between 3, for example Ali, I can do that, Khalid, and so on. I can do that. Here for example for grades, of course should add just a grade, just add a number, and also the number may be between 0 to the 100 because it's the grade of the student. And go to the data validation, and you have setting here, I change any value to the number or whole number. Now the number between 0 and 100, right? And also I can add input message and error, you can do that. And okay. Now if I try to add a text for example, I cannot because it should be a number. If I want to add now 30, right, because it is between 0 to 100. I'm not exceed the limited here. The limited between 0 to 100. Now here if I add 100, I can do that. If I add 0, I can. But now what if I add, for example, 100 add 2, for example. So I cannot do that, right? If I add the minus less than 0, for example, minus 3, I cannot do that. So I just enforce the user or restrict the user to add the number and between 0 and 100. This is called the validation, and also it is very important. Also I have here for example, now if I already have a data and I want to implement the validation, now here I want to delete the validation rules, just select and go to data validation and data validation again. You can see here clear all. I want to clear the validation. Now I clear it, see now any data or any value. Here also I want to clear the data validation. Go here and data validation and clear all and okay. Now I want to add another type, but now I already have a data, already have the name here. So I want to add a new validation, data and setting. Now I want to add the text for example, and for example between 3 and 5, just 3 and 5, and okay. Now there's a problem because here for example Khalid, it is 6, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6, not between 3 and 5. Usama is right and Ali is right between 3 and 5, but here we have problem. So you can imagine if you have 100 200 of the names and already exist, and you create the data validation and you want to see which value or which cell is error. It's not not restricted by this limit, it's restricted by this validation. So just select here all data and go to the data validation again, and you can circle invalid data for the validation. Now just circle. Now you can see Khalid is circled because Khalid is not in this limit, right? Here for example same thing. for the number. I delete the validation, but now I want to add another validation. So now also a number, but now I want the number between, for example, 100. Now also we have two error here, you can see, because already circle the invalid data. So the 30 and 0 is not restricted by this by limit. Also you can clear the validation circle if you want, or if you want to add it, just circle the data like this here. Also we have other type of data. For example, I want to add here this countries, I want to add it in the list. So I have another type of data called list. Just select here. For example, I want to make it list here. Go to the data validation and data validation setting. The type of data now I want to make it list here. So the list should be source. The list from where? Just select here. And for example, I want the list this here. And click here again and OK. Now you can see this is a list. And you can choose from here. Thank you very much.